Hello and welcome to Nanapod, a podcast dedicated to the fantastic manga written by A. Yazawa. I'm Crystal, and I'm joined by my best girl Kirsten as we dissect this manga, discussing everything from the emotions, the cultural impact, as well as any headcanons that might be floating around in our brains. With this podcast, we hope to preserve a shoujo staple that sadly hasn't been talked about in a very long time. So come with us. We're waiting for you in apartment 707.
Hey Craig, we had a good chat without you.
Right?
Very, very good. It was a long chat and we covered a lot of ground.
We did.
And we're all fucked.
Yeah.
Well, I guess let's see who's fucked this week in Nana.
Yes.
Chapter 40.
Chapter 40.
Chapter 40. Wow, we made it to chapter 40.
We did.
That's kind of amazing. We're like, what, halfway through? Almost? Almost
Yeah.
halfway through.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's fucked in the chapter, but I think that they're all just kind of fucked in general.
Oh, I mean, there's just a lot of like emotions.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotions. I mean, the first page. Okay, so the first page is colored.
Lucky.
It's Rira, and she has soft pink hair.
Oh,
Yeah, and
yes.
it's a close up of like Rira gazing up at Takumi, where Takumi is like fixing the flower in her hair
Mm-hmm.
from the last chapter that made
Yeah.
Hachi like or Nana made Nana uncomfortable for Hachi,
Mm-hmm.
essentially. Right. And it says, I thought she was a woman who speaks like the way she sings. Takumi's way of dragging on the last syllable and his tone of voice that makes people angry is completely the same. God, tell us how you really feel.
Right?
The way his voice drags on.
Drags on and it makes people angry.
Oh, what does it say in yours?
Nothing as fun as that. Just it says her way of talking was a lot like singing. I realized Takumi's annoying monologues and how he stretched his words were just like Rira's rhythm.
Oh, yeah, no, mine's better. Takumi's
Yep.
way of dragging on the last syllable, his tone of voice that makes people angry is completely the same as Rira's rhythm.
Yeah. It's better. So much better.
Oh my god. So they have the same cadence.
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay, so it says being completely unaware. My speech patterns have also become the same as Ren's.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens.
Uh-huh.
It's actually just what happens. It happens both ways though too. So, if you were more self-aware, you would notice how Ren has also adapted qualities of your cadence.
Mhm.
Um, the next image is of Nana and Ren. Mine has color. It's like I don't know what's the popular yellow right now. That yellow, and then they're wearing like gray and black. I'm like, what is the thing?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, the like yeah, the like mustard yellow is popular again.
Oh, yeah. I have a pair of pants
Kami
like that now.
Kami yellow.
Oh, yeah.
I used to have yellow cardigans. I used to wear
Yeah.
yellow and red is the only colors I'd wear, other than black. And it's chapter 40. And
Yeah.
then it's a close up again of Takumi gazing at Rira. And then Rira, ha 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 ha, you, and like pushing him in the shoulder. And then behind there is Nana. Jesus Christ, Nobu. Shin. I don't know why I wanted to call Shin Yuki. All I could think was Yuki.
Right?
And I'm like,
Yuki.
wait, what's going on? Why is my brain defaulting right now? Um, so yeah, it's the three of them watching. And Nobu looks upset. Shin looks shocked, and Nana looks shocked. And then in the next panel, Nana looks annoyed. Uh, I don't know how to describe Shin's face. And Nobu's pissed.
I think Shin's face is almost like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah, for sure. Just kind of like dead face.
Uh-huh.
And it says, those two, they have something strange going on, don't they? And then there's thought boxes. It says, I won't be surprised if Takumi goes out with many more women. It's just that if the women turned out to be Rira, then Hachi, who's at home, making miso soup and waiting for him, would be too pitiable. Pitiable.
Mm-hmm.
Pitiable.
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 I think
Pitiable.
so. Yeah.
Pitiable. I don't like that word. Um, Stop joking around, oi. Stop insulting people. Okay, so I'm sorry, but like those are thought boxes, and then I'm assuming these are things that like the audience is saying, but they're in thought boxes.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't like that. And so now we see Nobu's face more, and the other two eyes are closed, and now Nobu's eyes is closed, and it says, "This is bad. The scar deep within my heart is starting to bleed again. It took me so much effort for me to stop thinking of Hachi every day. But when I saw Takumi's arrogant face just now, I was reminded of myself, the one who did nothing but blame and push her against a wall when Hachi was trapped at her most fragile state of life. And it is the memory of um Nobu like leaning on the bed with Hachi when she was like not talking to him and crying when she found out she was pregnant. And then in the forefront of that is the motion of the strawberry cup like falling off the table.
Mm-hmm.
And we have kind of a scene change because it's news anchors now.
Yeah, we got two news anchors. We got a lady and a guy, and the lady says, today's first guest is, and the guy says, the Blackstones, a hot topic band these days. This is their first live TV appearance. The talk will be about 3 minutes. Please introduce yourselves first. And they're like, oh, and I think it's Nana. She's like, oh, okay. And he's like, then we ask you about your future plans. You have the questions we'll be asking. And she says, yeah, thank you. And then Ren is sitting behind them and he says, ask them what they think of me instead. And Takumi punches him in the head.
Oh my
Says,
goodness. Okay.
slug.
So like it doesn't say them in mine.
Hmm.
It says, "Can you ask her how she feels towards me?" And
It
then
does
I
make
have
more
like a
sense.
right? Right? And then I have a translator's note. I don't know if you have one,
Nope,
but
not at
it
all.
says because mine says yes, um, onagashmasu is a Japanese phrase that English doesn't really have a counterpart to. It could be roughly translated as please take care of us.
Oh.
When they're saying like the plan and how they're gonna have 3 minutes to talk.
Ah,
That's
okay.
my
Yeah.
response. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, yeah. Bren says, "Can you ask her how she feels towards me?" Like he's a
And
magic 8 ball,
Ren, Ren the magic 8 ball. And then Takumi hits him in the head. And
right?
Nana's eyes are closed, like, oh my God. And then and then in unison, the anchors are like, actually, we would like to touch on that subject. And in the back, Rira's like, are you all right? Because now, Ren's got like a little band-aid on his head. He's like crying because I'm pretty sure Takumi hit him kind of
He
hard.
punched him.
He punched him in
That
the
was closed fist.
and but Takumi's face, he's gone back to like neutral. Like he hit Ren in the head, and then
I
he was
mean, to
like,
me, Takumi looks pretty satisfied.
fair, fair.
He's just like, mm-hmm.
Mm, yes. And Nana's like, she's freaking out because the anchors are like, we want to know about the things. And she's like, what the hell? You're both saying the same thing at the same time. And one of the, I don't know, it's like one of the anchor guys, one of the roadies, or
I think he's like a
What do you
sound guy.
sound guy? Yeah, he's like dope. And then Genpai, uh, oh well, there's oh okay, so it's like a mini scene change because now they're back in the dressing room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's gonna bounce around a lot
Yeah.
because then it changes again like right after this part. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Jinpai says you can't use that attitude towards the hosts. When it starts for real, keep quiet and remember to keep your cool. Nana says, "How should I know? It's all Ren's fault saying nonsense." And then is that Shin? Yeah, Shin is like, "But it was very interesting." And the hairdresser says, "Yes." If we were on air, then it'd have been even more interesting, Heart. And
Someone loves
Yasu,
drama.
right? And Yasu's like, "Don't you want to eat something, Nobu?" And Nobu is drinking, by the way. And he's
Mm.
like, "How could you eat before going on a show? Is it because you're nervous? What a weakling." And then, and oh, that's what Genpai says. Is it because you're nervous? What a weakling. Is he saying that to Nobu or Yasu?
I think he's
Anyway,
saying that to Nobu, but in mine he doesn't say that. He says how cute about him being nervous, which I'm like, oh, finally, he's
oh.
being nicer to Nobu.
I mean, like anytime I think that he's like kind of flirting, I think it's like towards Yasu. Um,
I think it is. Yeah, I think.
and so then Nobu says, "Shut up." And then Shin is like, "Ah, I heard that when you're nervous, if you drink 3 big glasses of shochu, you'd get better." Translator: No, shochu is a type of Japanese wine. And then he's like, "Ren said that, but Nobu-san will get drunk." And Nana's like, "Shin, stop listening to those crazy theories of Ren's." And the hairdresser is like, "Write the word Hito 3 times on your palm and then drink up the ink." And Shin is like holding the pen and he's like, "Liar. How can anyone drink that kind of stuff? It's let's just drink shochu." And then Nana has all the dots above her head. And then the thought box says, "Standing in," whoa, my voice. Oh no. Okay. Maybe. Okay. And then the thought box says, "Standing in front of the unfamiliar studio camera, I too will get nervous like regular people." Oh my god, my voice. I don't know what
Here,
happened to it. There we go.
I don't know.
I don't know. That was weird. We have a scene change though.
Yeah, and then
Thankfully.
yeah, they're back in the studio, and like people are talking. Those like the commercial right before the show will air in 30 seconds, and then the thought boxes are to tell you the truth. I do get scared that I'll be exposed to lots of eager eyes. And there's now we're counting down. So 20 seconds, and Nana's thinking of Hachi back in the apartment watching her cute little like 1950s television in her room. So,
Hmm.
so I secretly imagine Hachi watching over me in her room before it was empty. 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5 seconds.
Oh, see,
And,
mine has more. Mine says, "Therefore, secretly inside my heart, I imagined, in that room before it became emptied, the figure of Hachi, whom always protected me."
oh yeah, that's a lot more.
Yeah.
And then we have the think boxes saying a magic formula to erase my anxiety, but she must have thrown that old TV out by now. No, it's in the baby's room.
Is no. Okay, so mine says, "And getting rid of those curses."
Oh,
Ah,
curses.
right? Right? Demon Lord
Curse.
curses and getting rid of those curses. But that secondhand TV in the room should have been thrown out by now.
Nah.
No, it's probably in the kids' room.
Yeah, it's in the baby's room. I'll bet you anything.
Yep.
And then now they're on air and it says music studio. This music studio is on now and it's live. Don't touch that dial. And now here we are. I think this is yeah, this is Hachi's
It's
place.
Hachi. She's in her
Mm-hmm.
living room with the biggest TV that Takumi could find, and it's a plasma flat screen. and she sees the TV and she's like, "It's on." And she's like right in front of the TV like a kid, like
Yep.
as close as she could possibly be. And June is still there because I forgot, if like Yazoo time. So June is still there. And it says, "Nana, she was smiling at me." And June is like, "I don't think she was smiling at you. You're blocking my view over there. Move out of the way." And now like Hachi looks shocked. And she like plopped herself down on the couch, like kind of reluctantly.
Mm-hmm.
And June is like, "You, other than Priestess Nana, your husband will also be on, right?" And Hachi's like, "It doesn't matter for Takumi, since I can see him anytime from head to toe." Why is he such a player though? From head to toe.
Yes.
Why is he such a player? Why? Because other people can see him too? I don't understand.
I don't know.
I don't get it. And so June is like, "Are you already sick of looking at him?" And Nona like closes her eyes and like she's like imagining in her mind's eye like her gazing at him in a magazine, okay, while she's saying this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, "When that person appears in media, he usually tries to act cool, like he is another person. If I look, I think I'm going to start blushing." So like she's got like weird lust for her husband's famous persona, or future
Yes.
husband's famous persona.
Yeah.
Like he's a different person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Is that what she's describing?
I think so.
Like she thinks it's super hot when he acts cool, like doesn't act like himself. When he's like rockstar Takumi versus like future husband Takumi.
Yep.
Okay. Like I think
Yeah.
that's really cute and kind of ridiculous,
It
but very
is.
hotty.
Yeah, like, oh, my husband's a thirst trap, but only on the
But
television.
only on the television, only in the magazines, like only when he's like acting famous.
Yep.
Because he's not really famous.
Nope.
Because he's not a whole person.
No.
He's two
No.
people. And so like June like side glances at her and is like, "Weren't you a fan of that man who usually tries to act cool before? Already acting like you're a family member, huh?" And it says "that man" in quotes.
Mm-hmm.
And Hachi is like, "It's not like I can do anything about it. Right now, Takumi is the closest person to me. I'm telling the truth." Um, so I feel like June actually translated that very differently than I did.
Maybe.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. June is like, "But if you like if or but if you say it like that, then Blast is family as well. Are they not? Why do you only act like a silly fan towards that priestess of yours?" Looking at it annoys me. I'm confused.
She's just a Nana stan, June.
I know, right? And so Nana like kind of glances at her but has like a sweat bead between her eyebrows, and she's like, "Because I can only watch over Nana from the sidelines, worrying for her, cheering for her. Doing that is the same as being one of her regular fans. How lonesome." Oh no, she's
Mm.
like crying into a pillow. And June is like, "But she's busy as well. That's why she doesn't have time to worry about you." And Hachi's like, "I don't need her to take care of me. She doesn't depend on me anymore, which makes me feel very lonely." And then there's the thought box, and it says, "During the countdown before the show went on air, I adopted a laid back attitude so that Hachi won't be worried about me."
Hmm.
And then we have a scene change.
We do. Here's those anchors. It's gonna go kind of back and forth. It says, "Good evening. I'm your host." Oh no, Chii Takahashi Heart, and the man says, "And I'm uh, Tsuyoshi Morishita." And then it's Yuri, and she's so pretty.
They're watching it too.
Yeah. Her
Yeah,
and
she's like the model version of Hachi.
uh-huh.
Like
I
she really
like
is.
Yuri. Yeah.
I do
I
too. I do
like
too.
she really is,
It's
especially
like, okay,
like
so
this.
what it is you know how like in ball jointed dolls, like there's like the more there's somebody with like there's a doll that has like the fuller face, but then it's like the same model that's like the more mature version of that doll.
Mhm.
Like Yuri is like the 30-year-old version of Hachi,
Yes. She is.
right? Kinda?
Yeah. But like way well, confident in a different way. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean like the way that her face is drawn.
oh, yes. 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 So here she is, super pretty, and she's like stage whispering to Mayu. She's like, that host with the big tits and the announcer guy are having an affair. No wonder their timing is perfect. Heart.
Okay. How does she know that? How does she know that?
I don't know if she's in the biz.
I guess. I guess. I guess. I mean, yeah, maybe it's just because of the area of the biz that she works in,
Yeah,
you
potentially.
know?
Hmm.
Potentially. Potentially.
And and Mayu's just sitting there
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
dot dot dots.
Right? Mia's like, "What are you even talking about right now?"
Right? And then and then she's like pulling the chair back. It says scoot. And Yuri says, but those have to be fake. And then the announcers are tonight we have a super special tonight we have super special guests for the hour heart. And Mio says, why are you watching it in here? You've got a TV in your room, Yuri. And Yuri says, because I want to see it on the big screen. The better to see Nobu with heart. And then Maya's just dot dot dot. And the announcers are like, and it's time to get them all out here. It's their first time on the show. Blackstones. And Yuri is like, hey.
Right? She's like cheering like she's there in person.
Uh, and
And
Maya's like,
Miu is just like, "Oh
shocked.
my god."
Yeah, Mio's over there like, but also, again, what a very Hachiism for her to just scream like
Right?
she's there.
Exactly. Yeah, she's excited.
Uh-huh. And then we have
Also,
this,
isn't it curious that like it's Nobu?
uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, you know.
I mean, but like,
Hmm. I
like
like that she's open about the fact that she's very into Nobu.
right, yeah. Nobu
I
deserves that.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I do. And also, and now we have this a really pretty shot of Nobu like under the lights.
I know he's so cute.
He's so cute. And Miyu's like, is that him? That makeup makes him look criminal.
In mine, it's okay, so Miu doesn't in mine she doesn't say it, right? It's just like a thought and it
Uh-huh.
says who? Like you're what? Like Nobu? Like she's like forgot. Like she forgot. She forgot who Nobu is. Like she doesn't know who Nobu is.
Yeah, she's blushing a little bit though. Like just a
No,
little
those are
bit.
those are the circle dots.
There's a circle with kind of like blushes.
Because
Sort of.
the blush is like the lines,
Mm.
right? Those are the curious circle dots. And then
Mhm.
like Yuri also has those, but her eyes are whited out and she's drooling.
Uh-huh. It says shiver, and she's like salivating. She's like, Nobu is really the hottest heart. And Mayu's like, you think? I thought he was the most normal. And she's like, I see too
She
many tough guys.
she calls him the plain looking one.
Oh, it's not. He's a good boy.
Right, exactly. Isn't he the most plain looking one?
Isn't he? No.
My goodness. He is the
No.
most normal,
Mm-hmm. That's true.
right? Yeah.
But yeah, no, Yuri's like, I see too many tough guys. So someone pure and wholesome like Nobu turns me on. And Mio says, don't turn him into a bad boy, Yuri. And she says, don't you either, Mio. Didn't you sleep with Nobu? How was it? Was he a virgin? And Mio's like, I haven't done anything with him. And Yuri's like, but you two are always hanging around together. And, she says, it's not what you think. He's only 20. And Yuri says, what? And Mayo says, he's just a kid. And Yuri says, oh, he's only 2 years younger than me. I thought he was much younger. That's not too bad, really, Heart. And then Miyu's just like staring off into the distance, just, mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
mm.
Yep.
And then we scene change back to the studio.
Mm-hmm. There's a thought box, and it says, often the show, or after, that's after? That's after. The font sucks. After the show officially began, even Ren put on his cool and calm face. Is the album already in preparations to be released? This is what they're being asked by the news anchors, and they're like on stage and they're sitting down, and then like the guy's in the middle, kind of, oh no, he's off to the side. And then like it's really weird because Trapstone, I think, is like standing behind them, which I think is really awkward.
Yeah, I don't know why they decided to.
Or they're like sitting just up higher.
Yeah, I think they're on some kind of bleachers and they're
Oh
just
yeah,
sitting.
that's right. They were on like, yeah, they were on the risers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it says, and then they say about to, and we don't know who's saying what, by the way. And it says when is the tentative release date? And then the next person says within the year. And in the thought box it says, when speaking about topics that revolved around me, he didn't act like an idiot either. But then again, the Ren acting as a trap nest member has a lot of experiences already. Even though it's annoying when people laugh at him, he would feel more silly and sad instead. And then we have a little scene change.
Is there the scene? Oh, I mean, yeah, kind of. So the anchors are like, so then let's hear a song, Blackstones or Blast, says the male anchor. And Hachi, again, her
Hanji's like,
and
yay!
yeah,
And
her
June is like, fuck.
right, and she's clapping. Just again, like her and Yuri are like the same brain cell right now. They're just
They really are. I feel like this is like no matter what friendship we're looking at, it is absolutely you and me. Like I'm a cross between like Miyu and June, and you're a cross between Hachi and Yuri.
That's completely accurate.
It's so accurate.
I'm easily excitable.
Right? And like I just don't show it. I just like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, uh-huh.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
you have days, you have times where you get like excited. But yeah.
It's true, right? But like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, like in this type of situation, this is definitely how it would play out.
Yep.
I would just be like, "Yep, Crystal, they're on TV."
Isn't it super great? I'm so excited. Like, no, no. Who's that plain looking guy?
Right? Who's the plain looking one?
It's
Jeez.
Nobu. He's adorable.
Uh,
But it's true. Uh, and then, we have a shot of like the camera as, Blast is performing. And there's a lot of thoughts from Nana. She's singing angrily again. And it says, I want to crush and destroy everything. Trap nests, contrived composure, the MC's painted on smiles, the prepared and diplomatic questions. It's all a monkey performance. So fake. What a lame ass show. But then I also get paid for playing the part of Blast Nana, the media creation. I guess you can't just do whatever you want and still get paid. And then we're changing to like a noodle shop. It's like a scene change
yeah.
into some kind of like noodle establishment.
I feel like mine might have an extra box.
Does yours have
I don't know. It's okay. So like the last square where her eyes are at says, however, in this part I think you read, I was also playing the role of the Nana from Blast that the media created, and for that reason I was able to obtain money. And then it says during, do you have a box to the left?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mine has in quotes free meals, so maybe that's where I'm confused. During what you want, doing what you want to do and getting money for it. Yeah, getting paid for it. Okay.
Hmm.
There aren't such things as free meals in this world. It's just like the
Mm.
language is so different that I end up getting tripped up because I'm like, wait, I have to find where she's reading, and then I'm like, it doesn't
Right.
exist, you know? Like she
Yeah.
even references like this whole a monkey play and a melodramatic soap opera,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah. I feel like because I've been reading along, I've been keeping up with like on your translation too. There's been
Hmm.
sections of mine where I'm like, yeah, that language is completely different.
It's so different.
We're having a huge deviation this chapter.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean like it's interesting though because like it does change the tone of the story.
Mhm.
It really does. It really makes a huge difference.
It does.
Um and I find that part fascinating. And then it's like, well, what do the other translations show throughout different languages, right? Because different languages have different tonal structure.
Mhm.
And so like, I don't know, it's really curious. So now
Yeah.
that it's like a restaurant
Mhm.
and uh it says Nana from Blast is not bad at all. I'm also her loyal fan as a customer. And then the guy behind the counter is like, "You're a curious person also, Mr. Customer." Even though I shouldn't be the one to talk. But I've read the magazines. She just seems like your regular bad girl. And then the customer kind of chuckles. And the restaurant guy says, everyone said that she's just a wicked woman. And the customer says, but there must be a reason for her to turn out that way. And the guy cooking, the restaurant guy, is like, that I don't know anything about. There are many people who are living lawfully, even though they have gone through some terrible things. Anyway, this is ready for you. I want to eat that. I think it's like a pancake. Anyway, um,
Yeah.
anyway, he says, anyway, this is ready for you to eat, Mr. Customer. He says, smells good. Actually, I'm in Osaka due to a business trip. My friend recommended this restaurant to me and said that the oh yeah, I had this the other day.
Hmm.
Okono miyaki here are very delicious and that I must try it. The ramen place down the street has it and it is delicious.
Mm. Is
Probably
that
not
what
as good.
he's eating?
Yeah, and it's probably not as good as this,
Oh.
honestly. But I mean it is good because like the ramen place on the street is owned and ran by Japanese people, but like they still like Americanize it for the palate, right? Um
Mhm.
and so then the restaurant guy is like, "Oh, what an honor. We're actually just a simple little shop." And the customer says, "No, a shop keeping the traditional style. It's good. It's better to have a feeling of home in a place for eating." And the customer is Mosquito Man.
Bad tabloid man.
Yeah, he's Mosquito Man.
Mhm.
And he says, "A shopkeeper is a beauty as well." He says about the woman.
Mhm.
She looks a bit like Nana as he's glancing over. And the
Mm.
woman looks shocked.
Ooh.
And the woman says, "Ah, welcome," to somebody walking in. And the restaurant guy's like, "What are you talking about?" Even though she was pretty when she was young. And the customer, Mr. Mosquito Man, says she's just an old woman now. Oh, says the restaurant guy. And
Mhm.
he's like glancing at her. And the TV is on next to him. And he goes, "No, they really do look very alike. Even their raspy voices are similar." And the woman looks shocked because guess who
Mhm.
it is?
Guess who it is,
Uh,
guys?
and we have a scene change. Bum bum bum.
We're back in the studio. Well, no, wait a minute. It's like we have an outside shot, I
We're
think, of
like
the.
out. Oh, it's the outside of the restaurant. And it says, "My life." I could have kept reading. My life was just basically a third-rated soap opera. Even if people want to add to it, spreading rumors about me or about my dark past, it doesn't matter to me. However, the script for the road to the bright future, I want to write it myself.
Mm.
And then it says, "I am no longer a child who just stands there and waits for someone to come back. So the images, the first one's outside the restaurant, and then it's them sitting on the bleachers, and they kind of swapped spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
From top row to front row. And then when it says, I no longer am a child who just stands waiting for someone to come back, it's snowing and it's her standing there as her mother walks away.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's an image of Blast.
Yeah. And
And we
that
actually have a scene change.
yeah, and they're sitting back on the upper bleachers just looking cool, and she's thinking about what Ren said when he said marry me. We never talked about a formal thing like marriage before. If we want to protect our status and be together, that's one way to do it. Marriage was Ren's way of trying to take responsibility. We publicize that we really love each other and get married as the proof. Some of the diehard fans will freak out and get mad, but most people will accept it as a love story with a happy ending. It's kind of just a show right now, but that's all right. I can't live any more days where we can't see each other. And then the lady anchor is like, and now for tonight's final guest. And the guy says, long time no see. It's Trap Nest. Thanks for coming. And June is like, yay,
Right? She's
Takumi.
like clapping, but she's like doing it like in a sassy way. Like
Yeah, yeah.
she's doing it like mockingly.
uh-huh. And she's just like, ugh.
Annoyed.
Yeah, June's is like, this is what you look like, Hachi. Yay, Takumi. But also, you're not going to clap for your husband because you think he's like,
Not real.
not real. I don't see it. I see him all the time. It's stupid. It's not as good anymore. Um, so the anchorman's like, your new song Trust is about trust? And Rira says, yeah, I wrote the lyrics with
He says it's about trust, question mark? That's what it says?
Yeah, he says your new song Trust is about trust. It's like
Okay.
stupid question.
Mine is the new song Trust means having faith, right?
That's better.
Better. The new song Trust, it's about trust?
It's about trust. Yeah. And she's like, yeah. Reva's like, yeah. I wrote the lyrics with that as a theme. And both Naoki and Ren are thinking, duh.
No, they're like in mine, they're both thinking, ah, I see.
Really?
Yeah, because they're putting the puzzle pieces together. Takumi already has.
Yeah, he's not thinking anything. He's just like,
They're
of course.
behind.
It's okay, boys. It's fine.
Yeah, she gets kind of awkward now.
And yeah. And then the lady anchor's like, I've already listened to the song. It was so sad it made me cry. How do you guys always write such beautiful lyrics? And Rhea was like, oh, thank you. And then back at the apartment, June is like, beautiful. Trapnest music is good, but the lyrics are so contrived. They're just stupid love songs. And
Oh,
Hachi's
see, that is
mad.
that is not okay. So what mine says is great, question mark. Um, the music of Trap Nest songs has this complicated style, but their lyrics are so typical and traditional.
Mm,
It's always about love. And then
yes.
Hachi's like traditional.
Seeing why she's like contrived and she's got the little angry tick. She's
Uh-huh.
mad about it. And she said, of course you wouldn't get it, June. You don't understand girl feelings.
In mine, it says you never understood a young girl's heart after all.
Because you're an old lady.
Exactly.
And now we have Rira. She's so pretty, and she's like, when I listen to the music, an image pops into my head right away, and words come to me one after another, matching the melody. The songs almost write themselves. She's lying, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. Which is like why Shin is making the awkward face that he is.
Yeah, he's got this like, what?
And it's like,
And
by the way, you're being recorded, bro.
right,
And like fans in the fandom are going to like comb through that video footage.
yes, they are. They, yep, yep. So the guy's like, amazing, and then June's like, huh. What a genius. I've seen people like that in art school, like a Renaissance man. And Hachi's
Oh,
just
okay.
dot dot
Just dots and
dots.
dots. Okay, so she
Mm.
says, "Wow, she's a genius. She must be one of those whom God favors amongst all."
Nope. I mean, kind of, after she's had a good,
Well, then Shin is
Yeah,
remembering her crying and is like, "I
right,
can't write anything. What can I do?"
right. And he's
He's like
like,
smirking.
yeah, he's like, that's not, nope, not at
That's a
all.
lie.
It's a lie. She's like, job. And he's like, all right, let's hear a song. And then June's like, hey, Takumi didn't say anything. I wanted to see him act all important and stuff. Too bad. And Hachi's just got more dot dot dots with a sweat drop.
He says that she wanted to see his pretentious face when he talks.
Dang, June.
Right? Tell us how you really feel.
Wow. She just turns to Hachi and she's like, hey, is Rira going to your wedding too? And Hachi says, yeah, all the bandmates were invited. And June's like, then I can see them in real life. That'll be some amazing eye candy. I can't wait, heart.
What?
Which is very out of character for June, I
Because
think.
like she says, then I can see them in the real thing. I'm so lucky. I'm already starting to look forward to a little bit. So
More,
nothing about eye candy,
yeah, practical June.
right?
And then there's think boxes. Hachi's like drinking from her cute little cup. And it says, up till then, I was blown away by Rira's voice, but wasn't too into her lyrics. But I started listening to the words when I heard her sing about miracles happening when you don't hesitate. But it was just a song about an affair. And then Rira's singing, looking just very beautiful. And it's like, the lyrics are being scrolled like under what she's saying. It says, even though
Mhm.
there's no string or ring for a vow on this shaking finger. And I mean, like she's still singing, so she's like, my suspicion of Takumi and Rira blew up inside me. After the broadcast, I grabbed Ren and interrogated him. He totally denied it. And now they're like, we're transitioning to the green room, essentially.
Yeah, and like yeah, he rejected that idea and he says, no, that's not possible at all. And Nana's freaking out. Her eyes are huge. Her face is bright red. Her hair is flying in the air. The whole freak out. And she says, "Why are you so sure?" And he's like, "I don't know, but Takumi once said in a very unquestionable tone that it was absolutely impossible." Now Nana's yelling, and she's like, "It's not worth believing." Poor Hachi. And Ren just has dots. And Ren's like, "Don't worry. I have to get changed and go to the next place. Let's discuss this topic next time. I think Rira is more pitiable." Pitiable. It's that fucking word again.
I'm like, the word
I
returns.
don't even know if it doesn't even seem like a real word.
It is though,
I don't
right?
I'm
Like
gonna Google it. I don't believe it. Pitiable.
pity,
Pitiable.
pitiable.
Yeah. Deserving, arousing pity. Completely poor or small.
Hmm.
Okay, hold on. Now, pitiful. I'm putting in pitiful. Pitiable versus and when I okay, hold on. Pitiable, 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 pit. Okay, and then we're gonna do versus pitiful. Okay. Oh, there's actually a discussion on it. Okay.
Oh
That
no.
that which is pitiful is touching and excites pity, or is mean and um contemplatable. A pitiful leper, a pitiful exhibition of cowardice. Pitiable may mean lament. I can't even say this. I'm reading a book that this word is the title of. It's like actually right here. It's time and lamentation to lament. Lam
Yeah.
lamentable.
Lamentations.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. May mean lamentable or wretched or paltry. A
Mm.
pitiable hovel. Piteous refers only to that which exhibits suffering and misery, and is therefore heart-rending, piteous poverty. I'm more confused than I was.
Now you see where your Google searches have led you.
Right? They usually do lead me to this point where I'm like, fuck, nothing makes any sense. The English language is stupid. Okay, so
Yeah.
anyway, she's pitiable. Pitiable. Meaning you can feel pity for her,
Yes.
but not pitiful because it's not pure misery.
It's
It's
only
just
a little bit.
um, but it's not a little bit. That was pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. Rira is more pitiable. And then Nana yells and she's like, "When's next time?" And then Ren just kind of looks off. And Nana looks sad. And Ren is like, "I don't know." And now Nana's yelling. And she's like, "Do you really have the intention of getting married?" And Ren goes, "Huh? You're willing to?" And now Nana's blushing and like kind of looking at the ground, like embarrassed. And Ren looks super shocked. And now she looks sad and she's like, "I'll discuss it with the company. You can't just act on your own either, right?" And so now Ren looks like really pleased, like very
Mm-hmm.
pleased. And there's a thought box, and Ren like kisses her forehead, and another they kiss. And in the thought boxes it says, "Why is it that when people love each other, they must prove to everyone this promise as well as the legal document? The society of human is too troublesome." Facts, queen.
That's so true.
I'm like, oh, oh, I just need that. I want that. I just want that as a pin. The society of human is too troublesome.
Yes. Put that
Right?
in the notes wherever you've hidden those.
I'm taking a screenshot really quick so that I don't forget because I will. Okay.
Yeah.
I need to start like I need to get better at like taking screenshots because I have a Yazawa verse folder on my desktop now.
Yeah. Is that where the people's curry lives?
Yes, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm working on like making that, and then I'm also working on having it in the Notion.
Nice.
Slowly but surely, I'm trying to get back to like getting the organization so that my brain can handle it. Um anyway, we have a scene change.
Mm-hmm. We're back at the agency hotel things.
Mhm.
Um, it's Yuri, and she's like, both bands in the rumor mill appear together, but they totally avoided the subject. Boring. And Miyu says, of course, it's not a gossip show.
Oh,
And
in
she's
mine they call it a
taking
wide
takeout.
show.
A wide show.
Yeah, a wide show. TV wide show. Responsible for political impotence. A wide show means news and talk show and is a terminology invented and generally used at present in Japan. There are now 3 dozen wide show programs.
Hmm.
I didn't open the article. It's just dot 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 after that. It keeps going and explaining it. I would like you to just tell me like what it is basically. They were invented in the mid 1980s.
Hmm.
So-called hard news and tabloid news. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the show. Okay, so it's like the show where they like that morning at 7.
Oh, yes.
That's a wide
Hmm.
show. Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. 'Cause it's like news, but it's like gossip news.
Yes. That
All
makes
news is
sense.
gossip, but yeah.
It
Mhm.
is. So, um, Miyu's like taking a tape out of the VHS. And Yuri's like, but it's obvious they dangled it in front of the audience to jack up the ratings. And Miyu says they got what they wanted. And Yuri says, I wonder if Blast's coming in late. I mean, Nobu. And Miyu says, they only had this broadcast to do today. And Yuri says, really? Then let's invite them over to play Mahjong. And Miyu says, Mahjong? And she says, I guess they're all Mahjong freaks. I read it in a magazine interview. And then Miyu's like thinking of it when she was talking to Nobu, and he says, I love Mahjong, even though I always lose. And she says, oh, that's cool, but it's obvious what you're after, Yuri. And Yuri says, I won't lose against some sneak who taped the show. I always win. And she like sticks her tongue out at her.
Oh man, so she calls her a stern face in mine. She's like, I'll not lose to someone who is stern faced and recording secretly. My goal is a date.
Man,
Stern faced.
stern faced.
I mean, I would say more like expressionless, but okay.
Yeah, she is more
Stern
like,
is an expression.
yeah, it's more brow furrows.
Yeah, like me, scowling
Mm.
all the time.
Not scowling, you're just thinking really
I
hard.
they're my think lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's not
for
this.
my think brains.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We have a little scene change, and they're in the little VW bus, and it says in a thought box, "But then, what should I do?" Question mark. And Jin is like, "It would be rejected for sure." Huh?
I think that's Nana thinking that, thinking about the marriage.
Is it a think?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is. It has a little circle. Okay, the circle is deceiving because she has her leopard print jacket on.
Yes.
Okay. And then there's a lot of tapping, and I don't know why everybody's tapping. And
Oh,
yeah.
Yasu's on the computer.
Oh, thank you. I'm just missing everything in that panel. So then the thought box is the next one, and Nana looks like annoyed, and it says, even though I said I'll discuss it with the company, but the company manager is very scary. If it's Jinpai, I can't win by arguing or by fighting. And then Yasu says, Nana, when we receive the money for the contract with Gaia, go buy a cell phone. You should contact Ren occasionally by email. And Nana looks over at him like, kind of shocked. And then it says, but if I tell Yasu, he'll help me think of a solution. And now she's thinking in her head, and she's like a little dog, like a little kid. She's in like what kindergarten outfit with the little hat and the little all
Yep.
the stuff.
Yep.
And so she's like, I feel more and more that I can't do anything without Yasu. I think I've already got the money from the contract. I have enough money on me to buy a cell phone now. And Yasu looks confused because like she's a child right now.
He's also like holding on to his sleeve, like,
Right? She's
yeah.
like tugging like his sleeve at his elbow, but she's like a small child.
Yep.
Um and Jinpai says, it's inconvenient for work, so it's better if you buy one. I thought they gave you advances. Why don't you get one even now? And then Shin is looking at his phone, and it says, it doesn't matter. If you buy a cell phone just for sending occasional emails, then that'll put a lot of stress on Ren. You think that would put more stress on Ren
Mm.
if Nana occasionally talked to him when they don't see each other?
I wonder if Nobu's saying that because Shin looks preoccupied with his phone.
That's true. Nobu might be saying it because then Nobu says having a cell phone on the other hand. Okay, yeah. So he said Nobu said that.
Yeah, which is very Nobu because
Yeah, it is
he's
very Nobu.
yeah.
It's way more because Shin is like hopeless romantic over there. So, um,
Mm-hmm.
Nobu says having a cell phone on the other hand would mean that you'll be waiting and be controlled. Nobu is not helping.
Nope.
All four of them look back at him like what the actual fuck, and they're all thinking just dots,
Yep.
right? And so then Nana glares over and she's got the little dots on her cheeks, and Thoughtbox says who? Question mark. And then it says, is it Hachi or the woman next door? And she automatically assumes that Nobu's projecting.
I mean,
She's not wrong.
she's not wrong. Nope.
And so it says, even you, the sociable one, hates cell phones. then what am I supposed to do? I won't say anything anymore because, or please hurry up and find a person and live a happy life. And
Hurry up and
then
fix
we
your
have,
life.
right? Jesus Christ. Just start throwing daggers at each other. My goodness. And then we have a scene change. It says Nana didn't look too well.
Yeah, I think it's Hachi saying that because, June's like, "Oh,
Uh-huh.
you think? I thought she looked really relaxed." And Hachi says, "But when the other guys were talking, she looked out of it. I wonder if she's all right." And June says, "You're observant. I was more worried about Nobu, who didn't even smile. But how could he, having to be in the same room with Takumi?" And Hachi's got the dots.
Uh-huh.
And she looks sad. And then she says, "I got an email from Nobu the other day." And June, like, whips around, and her eyes are huge. She says,
Uh-huh.
"What? What did he say?" And Hachi says that he wants to talk to me one last time. I broke up with him without telling him anything, but I didn't know how to reply. And it's been a month now. And now June's kind of mad. And she's
It's
like,
only
"So
been a
you,
month.
it's been a month. Oh no."
Yazawa verse 5 years. Okay.
Right? Oh yeah, June's like mad. She's like, "So you never
Mm-hmm.
really settled things. I'm not surprised." And then she's putting her shoes back on, which are kind of cute, actually.
Yeah.
They're really
No,
cute.
June dress is super cute.
Oh yeah. And she's like, "But it's probably best you didn't reply. It'd be worse if you let him expect something. But with you ignoring him for this long, he'd have to give up and move on." And Hachi's still sad, and she says, "But June, even now when I think about Shoji, my heart aches." So I was trying not to think about it. And June stops and she looks back up at her and with like this, "What the hell?" She's like, "Why are you still talking about Shoji? You were the other day too." And Hachi says, "Now that I think about it, I don't really know when he started going out with that other girl or why." And then June's got like sweat drops. She turns around though. She's kind of annoyed. She's like, "What difference does it make now? Give me a break." And Hachi, with this also a sweat drop, says, "It's not that I want anything from him. I think it's because I realized that even the happy times I spent with Shoji all became sad memories." And June stops again with the big eyes. And Hachi continues and says, "I don't know what's real and what were our lies. The pain of being betrayed by someone you trusted can't be easily erased so easily. So I'm worried that Nobu might be carrying sad feelings with him like I do, even if he has a new girlfriend. He'll probably run into Takumi a lot now. I chose Takumi, but I really loved Nobu. Telling him that and having him understand that might be the only atonement I can make. But would that just make me feel better? Will I hurt him even more? What do you think, June?" And
That's such a
June,
grown-up thing for her to think.
right? Right?
Like, yeah. And okay, so this also explains though, Nobu's projection, the comments to Nana up here, they were about Hachi and messaging Hachi.
Mm.
That just happened a few chapters
Mm.
back. So like that's why this now gets brought in the story, is because Nobu was referencing that Nana never responded.
True. And he was like
And that
checking
it's
his
more,
cell phone.
yeah, it's more burdensome to have to wait
Mm-hmm.
and to be ghosted, right?
Yeah,
Um, but like that's actually a very grown up perspective for Hachi to take.
yeah,
And I'm kind of surprised. Like I'll give it to her. Like good job, Hachi. Like you're thinking about the other person. A lot of people do apologize for themselves and not for the other person at all.
that's true. Yeah.
Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
most apologies are actually for the person to feel better because of how we're trained what apologies are
Yeah.
from like childhood. It's never about understanding why you're apologizing. It's always about you need to apologize.
Right. Right. Which is why whenever anyone apologized to me as a kid for the bullying thing, I'm like, they're full of shit.
Yeah, they don't mean it, right?
And they don't
Nobody
mean
like,
it.
children who are forced to apologize means that they don't understand why it was wrong,
Mhm.
right? And, like, that's so much of it, and, like, now as adults, people who just apologize, like, that's where all these conversations a few years ago started coming up about accountability and what accountability looks like, because accountability, I think, has become a very unhealthy term and is not used in healthy ways. Because like
Mhm.
to hold someone accountable is punishment, and that's not like exactly like at least that's how it's acted on, rather than holding
Mm.
someone accountable is being like, bro, this isn't okay and this is why.
Mhm.
In reality, people need to hold themselves accountable. They need to learn why it's wrong. A true apology is changing your actions, is not thinking about the comfort of yourself.
Right. Yeah.
And so like she's I think handling I'm really surprised.
Yeah. And June just sort of, I mean, we got a scene change here, but yeah, June just sort of looks like I have no idea what to say.
Right? Yeah, it was a really mature like thing. We have Kyosuke now at Jackson's, and he's smoking and looking like Kyosuke. And
Mhm.
it says, so that's how it is. It really is a very hard question. Even though I told her to try, nonetheless, but it's Shoji. He'd never tell the truth, right? I have a bad feeling. I should stop her, shouldn't I? And then Jackson's like kind of there while June is sharing all of this to Kyosuke. And it says, that's right. Everyone feels differently, so there's basically no correct answer.
Yeah.
And June says, it was too sure I was too sure of myself when I spoke before. That's why I feel responsible now. Oi. I
Mhm.
never thought I'd I never thought it'd turn out like this. And Jackson says, but since Shoji gave up, it meant that he agreed with your ideas. If Nana wants to know, she can just go and ask him. Probably it's because she calmed down. That's why she was thinking like that. You don't need to feel responsible. And June says, you're right. But I need to be more careful and not give out suggestions casually from now on. I really don't want to be a nosy old woman. And Kyosuke has a little sweat bead. And he's like, you were really smelling like an old lady recently, though. And now, like, June is pissed, and she's like, "That's because you smelled like an old man and passed that smell on to me." And now he's got like all the dots above his head, and there's like a ding dong, a little bell ringing, and it is Shoji and Sachiko. And Shoji's like, "Ah, Kyosuke, Junko, you guys came as well." And Sachiko's like, saying them together sounds like a complete name, like Kyosuke Hanako. I'm guessing that's a person. Um,
Yeah, says it.
okay.
Mine has a note like it's a famous husband-wife comedy team.
Okay. Um, they kind of are. And so
Mhm.
then it it says June is like, we really shouldn't talk behind people's backs. And Shoji's like saying something bad about me again.
Always
And
Shoji.
Kyosuke's like, Sachiko, came to have a drink too. That's rare. And Jax is like, welcome. And Sachiko's like, yep. She's so cute. Because
Mhm.
we just got paid. I guess going out once in a while won't hurt, right? And June is like, Shoji, are you telling Sachiko to conserve while you're spending money like crazy? And now he's like protecting her and looks sad. I don't know if he's like wanting her for protection or protecting her. I don't know exactly what's happening there. Like, because she's like smiling with a little sweat bead, but he's like crying. And she says, your hairstyle changed again.
It did.
It did. It did. And it says it's even dyed two different colors. How much did you spend?
Oh
Sachiko's like,
goodness.
it was me who brought him to the beauty parlor. I'm sorry. It says, "Don't worry too much about what a noisy old lady says." That's what Kyosuke said. Says his hairstyle from before was too strange. And Shoji says, "Oh yeah. Did you guys know there's going to be a firework festival at the Tama River tomorrow night?" And June is like, "What? They are launching fireworks at this time of year?" And Shoji's like, "It was supposed to be in the summer, but it was canceled due to a hurricane." And Sachiko says, "Uh-huh." And she's so cute. Um,
Hmm.
but like Soji is like he's also saying this like sing-songy. There's like a little like music note and it says, "I heard
Yeah.
it's because of many citizens requesting that they decided to hold the festival again." And Kyosuke's like, "Oh, the city of Tofu is so considerate." Sachiko says, "They plan to start at 6:15 p.m. If you guys have time, let's go together." And Kyosuke's like, "Ah, sorry, but I have to work." And Jun's like, "Me too." And Shoji's like, "If you had told me earlier," or no, she's like, "If you had told me earlier, I could have taken the day off." And Shoji's like, "That's great. There won't be any annoying people to interrupt us." And so then June says, "But Nana is free. Maybe she wants to go." And then Shoji like looks absolutely shocked and terrified.
Hmm.
Uh Sachiko's beet red. Kyosuke has a little bead of sweat on his forehead. And Shoji says, "Don't need to let her know. If we happen to bump into each other, then what should we do?" And June is like, "How should I know? Think about that yourself." Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Cold. Just
Right?
so cold.
Right? Figure it out.
Yeah,
Jeez.
pretty much. Like she kind of does say that, and she's like, I don't know, deal with it. I'm like, whoa.
Whoa. Well then.
Ah, June, you're getting ice all over my page. Just, it's so cold in here.
It's so cold. Stop it.
Well, I think we got a
We
scene
have a scene
change.
change. We have a
Yeah.
scene change. Yeah. We have a scene change and they're playing Mahjong.
Yes. And it's Mio. She says, run. There's a clack. And Shin's like, huh? And then she says, uh, Jun Chayan Ran Pico, which I guess is a pretty good mahjong hand. And then we get a shot of Shin and Nobu and Yuri, and Shin is like mad. His cigarette fell out of his mouth, and Nobu is like shocked. And so is Yuri because all the beer is like falling out of her mouth.
Oh, jeez.
And then Yuri like clings to Nobu and she's like, no, why are you so good, Miyu? Oh no, heart. And Nobu's just
Total
blushing.
excuse.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's fair. He's
It's fair. Let her you like what also though? What the fuck is she's wearing a nightgown.
yeah, she's doing the thing where she's wearing, like a negligee as a dress, like negligee dress.
Yeah, but like it's also not because she's wearing like the little 1960s housewife from like a serial like thriller novel where she kills her husband and it's like the little clacky like heels that have the fur on them, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And like the robe, like it's a look.
Yeah, it's these are like the same shoes that when Hachi like
But
went
it
to
looks
go
like
throw up,
they're
like
all in their pajamas.
yeah, they're all like comfy
Mhm.
times.
Yeah. Yeah. Hachi also wears those.
Uh-huh, because they're the same woman. So, yeah, and Nobu's just like blushing, all the dot dots and, sweat drops. And Miyu says, I don't know, maybe because I was studying a mysterious, invincible woman role for a Mahjong movie the other day. I didn't get much camera time, but it's a better role than I expected. They should make a sequel. And Nobu says, wow, so you do study for roles. How cool. And Yuri looks annoyed, like, hey, pay attention to me. So so she's just like, I should follow her example. In my next video, I play a nurse at an all-boy boarding school. Can you help me out, Nobu? With a heart.
Mhm.
And Nobu has nosebleeds now.
I mean, he can't help himself. Okay, like,
I mean, if Yuri was coming on to me, I would feel the same way.
did you have nosebleeds
So,
too?
yes, I
Okay,
probably would.
okay. And then Shin says, "How stupid."
Yeah, he's like getting up from the table. He's like, ah, this sucks.
Mine says,
And
"How stupid," and he like slams his piece down or whatever.
yeah, he's like mad.
He's
He's like
mad.
he's mad.
He's
And no
mad.
any particular hazard, I guess? Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. I think he's
Maybe.
just annoyed.
Okay. Because he
Well, does it?
lost.
Yeah, doesn't Shin usually win?
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, he's being like Nate. Nate can be a sore loser when he loses consistently, like a
Mm.
few times in a row. Oh, he gets so mad because he wins all the time.
I often intentionally lose at games just because I know that some people really need to win.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah, that's
And
fair.
then like I feel bad when I accidentally win
Oh
because
no.
I try to lose so often. Well, because like I don't care about winning.
Fair.
Like it doesn't matter to me. I'm there to like socialize and have fun with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like winning does not equate fun for me.
Fair.
Now I do have a friend though that gets really irritated when he loses, so sometimes I intentionally win so that he does get irritated because it's really funny.
Oh no.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is. But most of the time I let
Um,
him win and then I'll just wait. You know what I mean? Like just because
mm.
I'll strategically like actually play games based on like, how many wins has he had? Okay.
Now it's time for you to
Now it's time for you
lose.
to lose and get ready. Buckle in, bitches.
Oh, and he doesn't realize you're doing it. That's fun.
I like it. I appreciate it.
So, so yeah, Nobu's like, don't leave just because you're not winning. What a baby. And Shin, still mad, is like, so what? Uh, retaliate. Yeah, retaliate for me, Yasu.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so no. Okay, okay, mine's slightly different, okay? Because Nobu says, "What a sore loser. Are you a kid?" Question mark. And he goes, "I am a kid.
I
Help
mean,
me, help me get revenge, Yasan."
but
Uh,
Yasu over here in his robe, he's like, "Aren't you playing Nana?" And he's reading Yuri Kosaka. Well, he's not reading. He's looking at a
Photo
photography
book
book of Yuri
of Yuri, yeah.
while she's in the room.
Well, I
Um,
think they're in like the common room.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
So she just has like a photo book like out and about.
uh,
Yeah, sounds about right.
uh, and let's see. It says, "Does Yasu always sleep in that yukata? Does he starch it himself?" Yuri's asking Nobu. Nobu says, "I don't know. The more you learn about Yasu, the more mysterious he gets. So don't bother." And in response to Yasu's question, Nana says, "Maybe later. I'm on a good page." But she's thinking, I don't get it. But while Yuri hits on Nobu of all people, I gotta stay calm. And she's reading The Married Woman Next Door by Aya Yazawa.
Yep.
So just gotta stay out of it. There's too much I could mess with. But why doesn't the other girl say anything? And now Shin's over there looking at the porn of Yuri. And then there's a ring
Phone
on his phone,
rings.
and there's a beep, and it says Hachi, October 26th, tomorrow. And he's got like dots. And then Yuri says, Nobu, do you have a girlfriend? And there's shuffling of the mahjong, or cards, or both. And Nobu says, no, I got brutally dumped. And she says, "So you must be lonely." He says, "Sure." And Nana's trying to disassociate over there. And Yuri says, "I want to comfort you with a heart." And Nobu's back to nosebleeds again.
Nosebleed. And Nana is so annoyed. Like she's glancing over, just like scowling at him.
Yep.
And
And
oh my
then
god, no, because like she's
Yasu
Yasu.
says, "Hey, I'm lonely too, Yuri."
Nana's pissed. Nana
Says,
jumps up.
mm-hmm. Just what the hell, Baldy? And then Mayu's just got like, dots. And then he says, "I'm just kidding, down girl." And she laughs. Miyu laughs.
Yeah, yeah, she giggles. She giggles
Hmm.
at him.
And it's
And he
cute.
says,
And
"You're
then
so repetitive." Does it
Yuri
say
says,
repetitive in yours?
"No." He just is like, I'm just get JK, essentially, like, just stop freaking out. And then Yuri says threesomes are good with a heart. I appreciate her so much.
And
And
mine
then
says, "Well
Nobush,
then, let's make it 3 people."
yeah. I'm sorry. I love her. I love that. Like, I mean, I'm fine with that too. You know.
Right?
And then Nobu's like, "No way." And then Shin and Nana are like looking at him and she's thinking, "Hey, Nobu." And then there's a little thought box of Hachi screaming, "No way." And now Yuri and Nobu looking very cozy over here. And Nana's thinking, "Why are you talking like Hachi? Don't you realize it?" And then Shin says, "Hey, Yasu, do you know what tomorrow's schedule is like?" And Nobu responds, "Jin told us on the way home. You're acting kind of weird today, and you didn't play Mahjong very well either." And Nana's in her head. It says, "Damn, Yuri, the knockout, looks a lot like Hachi. Or is it just me? Even their hairdos are similar. Their nightgowns, too. Is that really what all the guys jack off to? No fair. It's just for the guys."
Okay.
Racist.
But we also know that the language is very different in mine. So it says, "Can it
Yep.
be that these members are all release?" Form of release. A
Yes.
form. What is your form of release?
Let me count the ways.
Jeez.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So like when Nobu freaks out to the threesome comment, he says, "I don't want to." And then right, and then it's the little bubble, and I took a screenshot of that because that would be also a really cute like little thing. And then it's Nana says, "I don't want to," and that's why the comment of why is Nobu like saying the same things as Hachi, because that's totally what Hachi says. I don't want to,
Mm-hmm. It is. I want
right?
to.
I don't
Same.
want to, right? Same.
Mm-hmm. And
Mm.
then Yasu is like, "In the morning, we have to tape some TV commentary. In the afternoon, we have a photo shoot for posters. At 6, we have a magazine interview. And at 10, we have a live radio show appearance." And Mayu says, "That's a tough schedule. Maybe we should let you guys get some sleep." And he looks at her and says, "No way. I won't let you quit while you're ahead. I must avenge Shin." And her whole outfit appears to have changed
Uh-huh.
in this
Yeah,
shot.
like in like traditional, like we are officially like in a back room of like a club, and there's
Yep.
bets, you know.
Yep. So when like her makeup is just like very pretty and her hair's got like all the jewelry things in it. And she says, "You may talk big now, but," and Nana's like, "What kind of weird game is this turning into? They seem like they're having a lot of fun." And now she's looking at the Yuri Kosaka photo book.
Right.
Just pass that thing around. And Shin says, "Can we cancel the interview at 6?" And Nana says, "What the hell?" He said, "Can't we reschedule?" She says, "No way." And now he's all, look at his old puppy dog eyes.
I know, he looks so sad.
But Hachi asked us all to go see the fireworks together. And now everyone is like, pause, pause.
Right. Our Lady Madonna has made a request.
Mm-hmm. And Yuri, like, is all, "I smell intrigue" face. And she's
Right.
and she's like, "Who's Hachi? What a weird name."
Nobu
And
Nobu looks absolutely
Nobu.
like stone, like petrified in his spot.
Mm-hmm. And Miyu's looking at his face.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nana, like, takes the just, it says swipe, and she just yanks the phone right out
Swipe
of
it,
Shin's hand.
swiping.
Swiping, no swiping. She did. And she's like reading the email, and she's like blushing. And it says the fireworks festival that got canceled last summer because of all the typhoon got rescheduled for 6:15 tomorrow at the Tama River. It feels like a dream. I can't help wishing that we could all go together. But that's just a dream, right? And Nana's like, "Nobu?" And I think it's like pleading, maybe,
Yeah.
like, "Hey,
Yeah, it's yelling
buddy."
though for sure. It's yelling
Mm,
though for sure.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
And
not like her
he,
angry yell.
no, it's
Yeah.
please
Yeah.
say yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And she, I don't know if she's like handing him the phone, or he had like takes it to look at it. Oh no, she's showing him the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "You'll go, right? Wait, I mean, we're going?" And Yasu looks concerned. He says, "Nana, calm down." And Mayu's just got dots. And Yuri says, "No, you got work to do, right?" And she's thinking his ex.
Yeah.
And Mayu says, "With a magazine interview, if you ask, you might be able to reschedule it." And Yuri says, "But isn't it risky to be out in the crowds with a whole band together? You'll really stick out." And Mayu says, "It'll be all right if they go in disguise. Change your clothes, makeup, wear wigs." And Yasu says, "Wigs?" Like, and she says, "Like an afro wig. That'd be hot."
In mine it says it suits. She's like afro. It suits you.
It suits you.
Oh my god.
And
No,
Shin's,
don't do it, Yossi. Don't do it.
"Don't
Don't
do it."
don't do it.
I think he does, though.
I
I
don't
think.
remember. We'll
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 find
we'll
out.
get there.
Yeah. And Shin's laughing. He says, "Ha, I'd die to see that." And Nana's yelling, and she says, "Shin, write her back, quick." He says, "What should I write?" And Yuri's back there going, "But," with the sweat drop and the confused face. And Nana says, "Meet at 6 o'clock at room 707. It's been almost 2 months. Those pesky mosquitoes won't be hanging around there anymore." And then we got a scene change.
We have a scene change. It's Hachi. She's in bed. And the phone rings. Pee roo roo. And then there's a beep. And she sees the text message and it says, "Waiting for you at 6 in room 707. We'll be going. I hope it's a clear day this time." And she's crying and
Mm-hmm.
weeping in her fancy princess bed. This is totally a princess bed.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
absolutely. Look how big, like, the
Look at those
curtains are. There's like
curtains.
a
Yeah.
chandelier, like
Mm.
princess bed. Um, and it says, "You're not dreaming, Hachi. It'll be exactly like that day, everyone having a great time together from the beginning." And then there is the cup and it's rolling and it says, "Starting all over once more. Going back to that summer, everyone together, rewriting our script from the bright future."
Mm.
And then we have a little scene change. Should I keep going?
Yeah, just keep it's only like a few
Yeah,
more pages
we're
left.
almost done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it says, and then it's scene change, and it's Ren, and they're in the recording studio, and it's him and Takumi, and Ren says Takumi, and Takumi says and Ren says, right,
Mm-hmm. He's barely listening.
he's clicking away. It says click click click, and then
Yeah.
it says, "I have something to discuss with you," and Takumi's like, "What?" It just has these lines underneath it, so I just feel like it's, like, really drawn out, you know what I mean? Like, he's
Uh-huh.
like, "What? What do you need?" You know? Um, and he's like and Ren is like, "Nana and I," and Ren has, like, a wedding veil on his head when he says, "Nana and I," and
Yep.
then Takumi gets mad, he yells, "Crap, it's not working," and throws the mouse, and now he looks like a ghost,
He's
and he's, like,
delicate.
so tired. I really wanna go home. And there's, like, I don't know, like, a ghosty, like, snake thing coming out of him.
His soul's leaving.
Yeah, like, but it looks like a ghosty snake thing. I mean, yeah, yeah, it's
Mhm.
probably his soul. But, I mean, is he even the keeper of his soul? I don't even know if he has his own soul. Um,
Fair.
and then Ren says, "Something just ran out of your body." Soul? Question mark?
Oh no, we're in a horror novel again,
Right?
specifically
Boop,
written
boop,
by
boop, boop.
yeah, who's it written by? Not Gigi David Cronenberg.
And so then he's like, Ren is like, "Your home is here. Come back." And he's talking to his soul. He's
Don't
like,
don't leave.
don't go. What are you talking about? Where are you going?" And so now Takumi's like pouting and having a tantrum. And he's like, "A room full of working tools. This is just a workplace. My home is at Shirokane, even though it's becoming like a fairy tale world."
Oh, he wants to go home to
He wants to
Hachi.
go home to Hachi, even though it's becoming like a fairy tale world. Yeah, because she's turning it into a princess house.
Right. He's like,
Like, actually. Um, I mean, if we
oh,
all had the means, let's be honest. So
yeah.
then, right, right. So the Ren is like, "But if you don't do it now, you won't make it for the deadline on Monday. Plus, there is other work as well." And then he's like, "I'm gonna die." And then Takumi's like, oh, Takumi says, "I'm gonna die." And then he's like, why is it that even now the songs used for the commercials has to be rearranged by me? We can't use the originals?" And his eyes are like, he's like flustered, like he is exhausted.
Mhm.
He's probably like, you know, like when you get like, I don't know, like when you haven't slept a long time and so you in turn you're super over caffeinated and you only take like brief naps.
Mm, I
And
haven't had
like
to do that, but
you're dehydrated internally and you can feel it, but like you can't sleep because you're so caffeinated because your brain is completely convinced that like sleep isn't a real thing anymore. And then when you do finally go to sleep, like it's absolutely terrifying and you're afraid you're gonna die. That's where he's at.
I'm like, I've never experienced that. I feel like
Please
that's
don't.
all you.
Um it's not. I'm sure other people have. I'm absolutely positive.
Yeah.
Um, you know, like sleep is a privilege in our world. So
Yeah.
Ren is like, "You were the one who proposed to the customers, saying how it's not creative to use originals." And now, like he looks dead again, and he's breathing his soul out, and his soul is wrapping around Ren, and like all the spooky lines are everywhere. And so now Takumi like looks over at Ren. His soul is still wrapped around his head, okay? And he's like,
Yep.
"What did you want to discuss?" Long line question mark. "Does it have to be discussed now?" Long line question mark. And Ren is like, "It'd be better if it's not now." And then above his head it says, "Illusions? This is very bad." Because his soul is around his head.
Yeah, and I have to wonder, it's like, Ren, are you strung out and you can actually see
Right? Like
Takumi's
what is actually happening here? So Ren is like, "But I want to ask you a question." And Takumi, his head is now in his hand, and he's like, "So annoying." Long line.
soul?
"If you're having cravings, then go to the bathroom and smoke all you want. Dot dot dot." And then it says, "The ring you bought for Hachi. Where did you get it? What style is it?" Swoosh. it goes to Hachi, and she's opening the curtain, and the sun is out, and it says
Mm-hmm.
Hachi, and she's got a cute little teddy bear because she's alone.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, amongst all of the dramatic pauses that Takumi made and the soul leaving his body, Ren asked him where he bought Hachi's ring. Um,
Yes.
and so now we have like the narrated conclusion of the chapter. It says Hachi, and then it's Hachi looking out at the sunshine. Um, we who have completely different interests never would have thought, even in our dreams, that one day we would wear the same jewel. You who likes new things, who tends to fall for too many guys too quickly, I hope that even today you're still treasuring and wearing that old shop's standard ring.
Hmm.
And then it's a picture of the wedding ring.
Yes.
And now we have some comments.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Um, the first one is Nama Ik Nama Ik Izakara Kari. That's a really long name that we're just gonna skip. And it says, why didn't they animate Nana's mom? Sad
Mm-hmm.
face. Because it's a minor part of the story. Um, and the anime itself does not the story isn't concluded.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as not putting her in the anime, I don't even they didn't even really do the animation for what's done, right?
Mm.
There's 4 seasons, 100 and something episodes.
For Nana, I thought there was like 2 seasons.
Mm, 47 seasons. Why did I think there's 100 and something? We don't know. We don't ask questions. Um, so there's only 47 seasons, and I'm pretty sure like an episode a chapter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's more or less broken up an episode a chapter. Now, I know that at one point, okay, so on Netflix it's 2 seasons. I know that at one point though there was 4 box sets.
Interesting.
But that could be like just based on different regions.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon says there's 3 seasons. I know that on Hulu they only have all of the episodes as 1 season.
Uh-huh.
Um, let me see. DVD set. It looks like they have them all now as like one. You can get it on Blu-ray for $39.99.
Nice.
That's for like the plastic one though that doesn't have the goodies inside. And okay, so there's a 3 box set on Amazon. And I could have swore that maybe it was just like in Japan that there was 4.
Maybe.
But it's saying 3 for some, 1 for others. This one has 4 DVD cases in it. Let's see. Yep, there's 4. There
Hmm.
was originally 4. 4 seasons, 4 box sets. In the the first releases.
Huh. Those have been really short seasons.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
There's only a couple episodes on each disc. I have the first one still,
Okay.
and that used to be like $700. Or no, it was Paradise Kiss that was $700. It was like $400 for the first season of Nana.
Hmm.
Yeah, they've gone down in price,
Well, that's good.
but that's also I think because it's just been re-released. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so there was originally 4.
I mean, I wish that they would have animated the mom, but that's
Me
only
too.
because.
I just think it's because like it's not. I don't know. I feel like it's such a minor point. Um,
True.
that there's a lot in the manga that's not in the anime
Exactly.
because they can't put it. It would be so long, even though I would have loved that. But that's also a budget thing, right?
Right. That's what yeah, I know exactly. It's like it would be long, and I'm like, looks at Dragon Ball Z. They could do it.
But like Nana also wasn't finished, and
Mm.
when did they do? When did Madhouse do it? Madhouse. 2006
Mm.
is when it first
Mhm.
aired. And it
Mm.
only aired from 2000 March 5th, 2006 to March or April 5th, 2006 to March 27th, 2007. So it didn't even air for a full year.
Mm.
Um because there's like not enough, right? So like that's 42 episodes. That's an episode a week essentially.
Mhm.
And so I mean like that checks out. Um because like what was the last episode about?
Um, Nobu is like standing on the other side of the door. Like it's the fireworks. They're
Yeah,
all
that's
like,
right. Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they did do like the future
Mhm.
part. I feel like we get more content of the mom though, slowly kind of, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, but I also feel like the last episode was kind of filler
Could have been. Yeah.
because there was still hope at that time that it was going to continue.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, I just started rewatching it again, so I mean, we'll I'm sure talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like I wish that yes, that was in there, but there's a lot of things that were not in there.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I feel like I mean, Madhouse is an amazing production company, so that's number one. Um, and I do feel like the creation of the anime was kind of like um to bypass the beginning of the hiatus, like to fill that area,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that I do think that the anime would happen anyway, and
Mhm.
would have happened anyway, but I do feel like it would have had more in it and not be as rushed of the storyline if the hiatus wouldn't have happened.
That's fair.
You know,
Mhm.
Painkiller actually took a screenshot of the panel when Shin says to everybody, but Hachi said she wanted to go to the firework festival with everyone.
Mhm.
And in all caps, he says, "Just look at him. He's such a little baby. I'm sorry you were born in such an awful world, Shin."
He is.
I feel
Yeah. He's sweet.
he's a sweet boy, but I don't want to pity him that much.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want to take his autonomy away and like make him even more of a child than he already is.
Yeah. I I kind of feel the same way to him. Just like, yes, he's very sweet.
He's
He's
very sweet, and Hachi is
he's
like his like mom replacement, right?
yeah.
Um, like he cares so much. He cares so much, but I also don't want to make him a baby. Um, like that part's weird.
I mean,
And
but
then
that's just normal, right? Like people
right.
do that all the time.
Oh, absolutely. Um, and so then Painkiller also says a comment after that. It says, "I'm happy for Nobu having some girls after him. Yasu and him are the ones who should get all the attention, TBH. Because Shin's just a kid and Takumi's just dot 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 you. I have nothing against Ren though, just love Yasu and Nobu way too much." And the response is agreed. I think that
Mm.
everybody deserves love, so
Mm.
even if they do yucky shit.
Mm.
But yeah, Nobu does he does deserve to like feel attractive
Yes.
and that somebody is into him. He does deserve that.
Yes.
Ash says Ren is number one for me and always will be, but if he had Takumi's mature, responsible side and Yasu's grounded side, you'd have a perfect man. Not so actually, like not like I don't, you know what I mean? Like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, all right, I'll give you
Yeah.
that. And it's like heart eye emoji. I love Yasu so much, I really do, but he's lacking serious passion. Passion will always lure me in. I don't think that Yasu is passionless.
I don't think he is. He
I think he's
expresses it
stoic,
differently. Yeah.
right? I think that Yasu is stoic. I think that um Yasu isn't reckless, And then I think that
Mhm.
oftentimes, um, for people to describe something as passionate, it has to come from a place of being reckless.
Mm.
When
Yeah.
passion can show itself in different ways.
Mhm.
I think that Yasu is very passionate about his friends and how much he loves them and how much he wants to protect them, and that it just isn't in a reckless, flamboyant way.
Yeah. He isn't actually interesting enough, like Hazel and I were sort of talking about like that in regards to Nate. They said Nate is very mild-mannered,
Hmm.
and I think sometimes mild-mannered people have a tendency to be overlooked and
Yes.
treated like NPCs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was like,
Um,
oh, that's such a good description. It's so true.
right. Like it definitely like I agree with that because the flamboyant person demands attention, demands space, right?
Hmm.
Demands people to see them.
Yes, yeah, that's what they said too. They were like loud people, like that's just, they know, like most people know what to do with loud people, whereas like mild-mannered people, they're like,
Yeah, you don't know what to do with it, right? Because it's not on their sleeve.
mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, which is, I mean, it seems similar to Yasu just because he's so,
Yasu's stoic.
yeah, he's like reserved, and that's fine. I don't know why people need, I don't know, why does everybody have to be so loud all the time? I guess that's my question. Like you don't have to be loud to
It's
be
like that Taylor
lovable.
Swift song.
Which one?
The one about being loud. Your voice is too loud.
Oh,
You need to
that's
calm down.
oh this oh yeah the
Um, Side tangent, relevant and important, free Palestine.
right.
Free Palestine, land back, free the world. So, well, free the people. Let's be like frank in what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Next comment, because like we we stand Yasu in this house, and we stand men like Yasu in this house.
Yes.
We just do. We do. Okay? Start listening to the quiet ones.
Ye-
Um,
Actually, for real
like
though.
actually, like
Mhm.
seriously. Um, they're
Even though
usually
they're
smarter
usually really
than the
right.
loud ones.
Uh-huh. And even though they might frighten you by calling you wholesale out, they don't it's not a call out. Well, it isn't a call out. They're just like I just see through you. I just saw all the things.
Not even necessarily
So,
the case. It's like, I mean, yes, for some people, but like honestly, I guess in the context that we're talking, because we're talking about like a love interest, right? We're talking about like that type of
mhm.
thing, and compatibility. And also like we're talking about, I guess, fuckboys versus like non-fuckboys. I
Yeah, I
don't really
think
know
so.
where to go with that. But like oftentimes, and you also have to remember women are naturally going to be like quote unquote louder. We have more communication centers in our brain. AFAB
Mm,
individuals, I don't want to like exclusively, you know what I mean? Um,
mhm.
but yeah, AFAB individuals do have more communication centers in their brain. And that doesn't necessarily mean that like you're not um super talkative. That's like a different personality trait altogether.
Mhm.
But you know, mm, yeah,
Yeah.
give the quiet ones a chance. That's all.
Yeah.
And if you can't handle them, it's because you don't have any fucking substance. Have a good day. Um,
It's true.
oh, that's my
Ah.
thought. So Leah, Leah goes on to say, finally, Nana and Nana are meeting up. Also, Ren and Nana are getting married. Very nice. They're my fave couple.
Oh.
And they also say, also loving how Nobu is moving on. Nobu's not moving on.
No. No.
Nobu's not moving on. He's getting nosebleeds. There's a difference. Um,
You're moving on from your relationship and getting nosebleeds. Two entirely different boxes.
so different. So different. Nobu wants to get his dick wet. There is a difference.
And that's fine. You know what? That is
Fine. There's
fine.
nothing wrong with that. Okay. He
Uh,
needs a release.
yes.
Jesus Christ. It says, loving how Nobu is moving on. I really think him and Hachi should just not be a thing anymore. After all, Hachi chose Takumi and is happy with him. There's no need for more drama. I'm pretty sure that Hachi and Nobu aren't a thing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't understand this. I feel like we just backtracked with your comment. I really think him and Hachi should just not be a thing anymore. They aren't a thing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because Hachi chose Kumi. Um,
No more
but
drama.
like,
This is shoujo, bitch. Where do you think you are?
where do you think you are? And like at the same time, like I mean, this must be your first read through. I assume though. I assume most commenters have watched the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if you watched like that last part, right?
Yeah.
Um, you know, like there is implication there for sure. Um, Dolly says Rira and Shin are the only good couple, and it's
Mm.
illegal. Dot 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 dot. Dot. Well, it's not illegal where they're at, so like we can start there. Three
Mm-hmm.
people liked it, 8 people disliked it. Okay, she said it's illegal. I guess she didn't say it's wrong, but like I feel like I don't know. The first response to that is yes, mixed feelings, but my morality with the age thing is just not okay. Maybe if he was 18, I would be more lenient. Um, but like also your brain isn't even developed at 18, so we've already talked about that. Leah
Mm-hmm.
says good question marks. What girl, what the fuck? They're literally the worst pairing in the whole manga. She's literally grooming him. She clearly doesn't love him. She loves Takumi, but is using Shin as a distraction. More this morally and legally wrong.
Wow.
Um And then somebody responded to their comment and was like, I think maybe meant happiest question mark. Um, so uh, you can love more than one person at once,
Yes.
and there are different kinds of love. So I guess that is like my stance on that. And then Hachiko is back.
No, no.
Yeah, but like their comments kind of lame. They just respond to Dolly and say worst couple with a bunch of asterisks. Um, and
Okay.
that's the last one. Uh, I don't think that there's a worst couple in the mix. To be completely honest.
Yeah,
I really don't.
yeah.
They all have their fucking problems.
Mm-hmm.
Every single couple has their fucking problems.
But maybe
Well, until like
this
Yasu becomes a couple, then that's another thing.
right.
Then they
But
would be like the supreme couple, to be completely honest.
no, for real. What like
Least problematic.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe this whole like best couple, worst couple things feeds into like the whole I don't know if it's a culture, but I'm gonna call it that, like the shipping culture we've had since like the
Oh yeah, that's
inception
a,
of the
that's a part
internet.
of culture for sure. Yeah, we can call it ship
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah. Like just like the whole
Um,
like, oh, this is the superior ship, like that whole
yeah, I
thing.
think like yeah, I think that that's weird. I think that wanting people to be together. I think that well, I think like the cons like we've even before we had like the term to ship them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we had like fandoms, we had alternative storylines that we would create.
Mm-hmm.
For couples that we wanted to see together, we wanted to play with those ideas, right? And then I think like shipping a couple was very much in the line of, oh, they're not a couple yet. Well, I ship them,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Or
Mm-hmm.
like if I think about like the Gilmore Girl fandom and like there's constant even like now like it doesn't die like because Gilmore Girls is Gilmore Girls. Um people still discuss like Rory's different relationships between the three dudes. And they talk about like their favorite pairing or their
Mm.
favorite like male counterpart.
Yeah.
You know, but that was like pre-shipping. So like nobody ever said, "Oh, I ship them."
Right.
Um and like also to like put a couple on a ship, that's weird. I'm going to put you on this boat and we are going to smash a bottle of champagne on the bow of the ship. And then it's going to set sail into your potential romance. And, you're going to live happily fucking ever after. Okay.
Yeah.
So unrealistic. Move on.
It's true. Although I've read some
Um,
hilarious comments about like when people like one couple, but then another idea of another one is introduced, and someone commented was like, "Help me! I can't control my ships."
that's
And
actually really cute. I appreciate that a lot.
I
No, I think it's like a fun thing to do. You know what I mean? Like being
mm-hmm.
allowed to like imagine fictitious characters that you've bonded to in like your preferred situation is one of the beautiful parts of storytelling,
True.
right?
Um,
And it doesn't
yeah,
matter if it's romance or not.
yeah. I'm a huge Spike and Buffy shipper. Have been
Right.
for a
Forever.
very long time, and I will not budge from this.
Right. But like also though that was pre the concept of what it is to ship,
Yeah, yeah. That was
right?
like
We
it
didn't have a word for
just
it.
started. Nope,
Right. Yeah, we
started
didn't have
getting going.
like I would prefer them together. I like them together. Actually, I really like them together. They have like great sexual chemistry and tension.
Mm,
So,
mm-hmm.
you know, but yeah, I don't think that in Nana there is a best couple or a worst couple.
Mm-mm.
Um, and like I can even understand like if we talk about Parakiss, I can understand why people are still stuck on the idea of shipping George, right?
Just like with anyone,
With
or
Yuri, Caroline.
oh, yeah. I don't think that relationship
But the
is.
story wouldn't have been a thing. That's that part of
Yeah.
the story of her growing up. It is a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
It is an absolute necessity in the story for her not to be with George. And she was never
Mm-hmm.
meant to be with George, right?
Yeah.
Like it was a weird thing because like in that case, George it's not that he only loves himself. He loves Isabel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like not in a romantic way, right? Because
Yeah.
like I honestly don't think that George is meant to be with anybody because his love is actually like making clothes,
Yeah.
right?
As yeah, I thought that too. I'm like, George doesn't seem like a he
His
can.
his love is making form.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that George cared for Caroline a lot.
Yeah.
But I think that he loved that she became his muse more so. That
Mm-hmm.
he found who he was making clothes for all that time. He was making all of these clothes and then they happened to fit her perfectly.
Yeah. Like like Galatea is already like alive. I just have to find her. Where is
Right.
she?
That's yeah, that's exactly it, right?
Yeah.
And that for Yuri or Caroline, um, that was her coming of age moment. That was her
Mm-hmm.
recognizing how to love herself,
Yeah.
right? And she needed someone else to see her in order to
Mm-hmm.
do that,
Yes.
right? That's that story. I think it's weird when people are like, "Oh, they should have been together." No, they fucking shouldn't have.
No, no, that I think that's weird. It was like, what? No.
No. Did we read the same story?
No. When people read Aoyazapa, they don't read we do not reading the same.
No, people don't read the same stories, but and like it makes sense that she ends up with the other guy. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. Like that makes sense. Like you
Mm-hmm.
know, um that makes so much sense. And like yeah, George was supposed to go away. George was supposed to be like a stamp for her,
Yeah.
right? And she filled a void for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was their exchange.
Yeah. And
Um
it's fine.
yeah, right? Exactly. Exactly.
Not all relationships have to, I don't know, be
The end all be all happily ever after bullshit because that's not real.
yeah, it isn't real, and it's more interesting actually when that doesn't happen. That's
Yeah.
actually when stories sometimes get my attention because I'm just like, "Oh, you're not doing the thing. Good, good,
Yeah,
good,"
you're
because
not
I'm
doing the thing.
tired.
Well, and I mean like it's even like okay, so we can go like kind of off base here and we can talk about like Miyazaki films specifically, right? And how he always has a heroine.
Mhm.
And I understand why we do ship the heroine having a love interest.
Yeah.
right? With whoever the counterpart is. I get that.
Hmm.
But it's not a necessity. And Miyazaki has even said, "No, I want strong young female characters,
Which is
not
great.
like this reliance on like a prince to save them. I want them to save themselves."
Yeah.
Right? Um, and it's okay to save yourself.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, even Hachi's choice in choosing Takumi, she chose that for herself.
Yeah.
She chose that because of the life that she wants.
Hmm.
It's very Jane Austen of her. It's very seeing Darcy's house, right? Um, and that's okay too,
Yeah.
right? Or it's very like Amy from Little Women in when Amy stated that like you don't have to marry for love,
Mm. Yeah.
right? That's also something else to consider. It's not a necessity in a union.
Mm.
Most unions used to be business.
Yeah.
They still are in some areas of our class systems.
Yep.
Um, and so it's like, who's the best couple? I don't fucking know. I know who will be the best couple down the road,
Yeah.
but that's only because like they're no drama,
Hmm.
right? And like, is not having drama the best? Mm, not always. It's
Well,
just my
makes
preference,
yeah, I know, right? Like it makes your head hurt less.
right? But like, I don't think there is a best couple out of the couplings of Nana, to be complete.
No.
I think that they're different. I mean, if we really have to be like, who's the most stable couple,
Hmm.
right? That's June and Kyosuke,
Yes.
right? They're the most stable throughout the whole arc.
Hmm.
Um, and so, like, I don't know who's the best couple. I have a better question. Who's your favorite couple?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I'm just like, no, you just pick a favorite that you
Yeah,
enjoy.
who's your favorite? You know?
I can't personally because I like all of them for different reasons, so I don't
Right.
think I
I don't
could.
have a favorite either.
Yeah, I
Like,
couldn't do it.
right? And we can say like, you know, honestly, to be frank, the cutest couple is probably Shoji and Sachiko.
Yeah.
Um, no, they really are adorable.
Yeah.
Um, the most stable couple is June and Kyosuke. Um, the most like toxic. No, like honestly, the most toxic couple. Like if we frame that out, that's gonna be like Ren and Nana.
Mm.
Like stereotypically toxic.
Um,
I actually do think that they are.
got well. If I thought about it, I'm sure I could find out like the reasons why, but I want to know your reasons why.
They're codependent,
Oh, yep. That's a good one.
inconsistent.
Hmm.
Um, like it's primarily just their codependence.
Yeah, that's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope, right?
Hmm.
And like that codependence leads to like Ren's dependency, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's the only reason. Otherwise, like I think they're all right. You know what I mean? Like they're that image. They're definitely the image
Hmm.
they want to be. The same way that June and Kyosuke are a stereotype of a couple.
Yeah, I think that's why it makes me so sad um, with Ren and Nana because in the before times when they were living back in the hometown,
Hmm.
it was it was good.
Yeah, they didn't
But
have like the. I mean, it's not technically Hollywood, but it's still the Hollywood like life, right? The
yeah,
fake.
they were yeah, they had their little space and they were doing their shows and they were just existing together and that was lovely. But when, the big Tokyo city comes into play and the life starts to roll, it's not the same anymore and it's just like, oh, you can't get that back.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me sad, like it
Oh,
can't be
fair.
the
No, it
yeah,
can't. They had to grow up though.
yeah.
Um, and like honestly though, like I would have been perfectly fine being Nana working in like a bookstore and just having my band in my small town for the rest of my life. But that's just me.
Right. Like,
You know what I mean? Like I'm like, "Oh, that was my dream life." Like, cool. Minus the band, I
yeah.
don't really care about the band, but, um
I mean, I think I would have gone the opposite direction because I'm now just realizing in my mid 30s um that having uh, how do I put it? That having sort of like a small town success
Mhm.
and being able to do my art shows, the ability to share and distribute my art and get paid for it and live with my husband is actually the best thing that I could have ever asked for. Well, when I was younger, a lot of it was like trying to be a famous person, you know.
Yeah.
I thought that's what I really, really wanted. It was like a desperation and a fear of being forgotten because I was forgotten a lot as a kid,
I
not by
see.
my
Yeah.
parents, but by my peers.
Right.
So I'm just now framing that out. I guess that's the way to say it is there's like, oh, I don't know if I necessarily need to be a big thing because the big thing I've realized, especially when you watch celebrities and like YouTube downfall culture and all that stuff, like, or people that actually have to leave YouTube, like Michelle Phan, because the pressure was so bad that like her depression got out of control and led to like a suicide spiral.
Right.
So it's like the price of the fame, it doesn't seem worth it to me anymore to pay that price, the glamour you start to see behind
Right.
what it costs, and you think to yourself, I don't think I want to be that damaged.
Right.
um
Yeah. There is an exchange for sure. Um of what like fame and fortune looks like. Um I also don't I mean, I'm of the opinion that we don't choose those things, right?
yeah.
No matter how hard you work, it doesn't matter.
Mm.
Um like that whole concept of work hard and you'll get what you want, that's a lie. Um for variable different reasons. But um I understand what you're saying. I don't think like I think that like growing up there's always like that dream. You know what I mean? Like watching
Mhm.
Disney like, "Oh, I could be that kid too." That's kind of like the design of that propaganda, right?
Mhm.
Um and like that hope or what it'll look like to not be forgotten. And I think the idea of not being forgotten is actually a bigger like metaphysic or philosophical like construction of an idea.
Mm.
Um because like being famous means you never die,
Mhm.
right? It's being ascended. Um it's becoming a god, you know? You have a
Mhm.
marker. Like you get to live on forever because like the third death is essentially your third death that you have as an individual is the the last person who knows your name,
Mm. Mhm.
right? And your third death happens when there's no one else alive that knows your name.
Right.
And so I do think that that's like a deeper need, a deeper seated need that we have had. Like, and this is why we also have traditions of carrying on names of our
Mhm.
ancestors, right?
Yeah.
And so like what does that look like and what can that look like? And we just had different ways of doing it before we had industry. Um
Mhm.
and so what is that? What is that movement? I don't know, like I don't part I don't I like to be heard.
Mhm.
Um I like to teach, right?
Mhm.
We know this. I love explaining things. I love breaking things down. I love sharing knowledge of information. That's why I love working in bookstores so much. It's the
Mhm.
only time that I felt comfortable selling people things.
That's fair.
Because early on I justified it as well, but I'm selling people knowledge. I'm selling people stories,
Yeah.
and that's its own movement. Like, and like no matter what I'm doing in life, I always try to justify it with like a means of where's the positive outlet so that I can be okay with what I'm doing on an
Mhm.
ethical level. Um, but like my preferred life since I was a teenager was to live in a small town, to own a bookstore or work in a bookstore, to be able to walk there. to know my community. Like that's always been like the thing that I've wanted. It's just like my faded expression hasn't allowed that to happen yet. Um
But I
Someday,
like that one. I like that though.
right? Well, that's also like my perfect existence.
Yeah.
Um and that's what works for me. That's not what everybody wants, right?
Yeah.
I
And
want a
that
boring little life.
I don't know. Working at a bookstore doesn't sound super boring.
No, but it's not for everybody. You know what I
No,
mean?
yeah,
Like
I know, I
it's
get
not
it.
for everybody. I think that over the years it's been more romanticized than it ever has been, and I think the reason that it's become more romanticized is because bookstores are so scarce.
True.
Is because they're becoming antiquity.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like impossible. It's impossible for bookstores to exist at the magnitude that they used to. Because technology has changed, because Amazon exists.
Yeah.
Um, Mostly because Amazon exists.
Mostly because Amazon exists.
I mean, like a good bookstore is a novelty at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't mean Powell's because Powell's is bullshit. If I ever like moved out of Portland, I would definitely get a job at Powell's and they would hire me. But like, you know what I mean? Like it's like I don't know, like you can find some gems in there, sure, but they have so many books because they shelve literally all the garbage in existence.
I found some nice stuff in there.
But yeah, like if you dig,
Yeah, but also I go looking for the weird shit too.
yeah, so do
So,
I. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But like it doesn't mean those shelves have to be full,
fair.
right? So you're gonna find stuff from Costco. Um, but even the small bookstore that I worked at, we had those too. Because like that's kind of you have to pertain to everybody. Having a specialty bookstore is even more difficult than having a general bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just I don't know, in a
Mm.
perfect world, Nana's job before she went to Tokyo would have been my dream. Living in an old abandoned building would have been a dream. Um, I would take that. I would take that life for sure.
Mm.
And I also don't blame Nana for wanting more. I think that she deserves more. I think that it kills her, but I think that she deserves more.
Yeah,
I think that she deserves everything that she wants.
mm-hmm. I can, yeah, definitely kills her. I think that's a thing too, like when you're young and you're like, I want more, but
Right.
we don't get to see her.
You
Oh,
also kind of have to get famous when you're young.
yeah. Well, not everyone has gotten famous when they were young.
Young
Like,
or dead.
younger, well, true, those are when the big booms happen, but I'm thinking like Alan Rickman, like
How old was Alan Rickman?
I think he was like well into his 30s when he first got like noticed, but he was doing I mean, I think he did a lot of like smaller like theater stuff, sure, but it wasn't until, Hollywood was like, "Oh, we picked him up," but he wasn't like 22 or anything when that happened.
Oh, yeah, I mean like but also acting in um is he English or British? Acting over there. Is
Mhm.
he oh no, that's different. Acting over there is different than it is over here.
True.
Because like you have to go to acting college. There aren't as many people
Mhm.
and they cast regular people
Right.
because
Right.
like you know what I mean? And because there's like so many they do so many period pieces or they have like their own spin-off shows for their own television. You know what I mean? It's like it's a British. It's a different industry than
Yeah.
it is over here, right? It says that in beginning in 1978. 1978 is when he first started acting on British television specials. Um and he also did radio specials because he does have a voice for radio. Oh my god, I saw this video of him where they AI'd him with like um being Snape and I'll send it to you. Um
You should.
and he has like a six pack and pecs
Oh
and
no.
his shirt's like open and he's like talking sexy as Snape. I laughed so hard and I know like when I was at the bookstore, one of my coworkers had said he'd make a great phone sex operator and that she'd pay.
That's fair.
I mean, it's fair, but also at the same time I was like and he's old. Like I don't I feel kind of weird about that. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. That feels weird to me. Um, so yeah, he did start before, but I mean, like Hollywood movie wise, it says that his Hollywood debut, he was the intelligent and evil East German terrorist Hans Gruber in the feature film Die Hard.
Mm-hmm.
It says
Yeah.
that he, at the relatively late age of 26, that's when he went
Uh,
to, that's when he went to acting school.
oh,
So he was older,
yeah.
but 26 is still young.
Right.
Um, but yeah, and he acted for like 40 years.
Like that. The relatively late age, like, you geriatric at
No, but
26.
seriously, but like also if you went to like acting college at that age, and you have to go to acting college to get to go to casting roles.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference than over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, like most of those kids, you know what I mean? Like they go like what, their high school ends at 16, so that's when they go to acting school, like 10
Yeah.
years before. So yeah, I mean like he was a little bit of a late bloomer. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. But I wouldn't say that he's old. I mean old. I mean like in your 40s. I mean
Oh.
like midlife crisis old. Your midlife crisis happens in your 40s.
I don't, at this point, I don't consider like 40s old, but that's because we're
I
like
know, but that's when your
closer
midlife
to it.
crisis happens. That's midlife. Is 40.
Yeah. Which is weird because I always describe like old ladies as like in their 40s. I'm like, when am I gonna get? No, I'm probably still gonna describe. I'm gonna, you know,
I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30, but people still think I'm in my 20s.
people. Oh yeah, people think I'm 27, and I think that's great.
And then when they find out I'm a kid, I have a kid almost their age, they're like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. I'm really cool. I'm sorry, I am not sure how to feel about this right now. Like you're making me feel weird. Am I supposed to act different? Because
Right,
I'm super cool.
right. You're like I'm chill. I
I
think it's
have
funny with the
wrinkles. Do
bad.
you just not notice my wrinkles? I don't know what to tell you.
No, no, it's they're just well, I think maybe there's that preconceived idea where they're just like the whole idea of like someone in their mid 30s must look like they're 65.
Well, I also talk about things that like people my age don't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
This is
they usually
true.
give up. Most people my age have given up. They're like, you know, in their cookie cutter, unhappily married with a bunch of
uh,
children,
uh.
whereas I'm just like kind of a failure. It's fine. Um,
Why? Because you're what? You're like not married,
I'm not married. I live with my family.
and you're like,
I have a shit retail
okay.
job. You know, COVID kind of kicked my ass, okay? Like, I don't, that's what it is.
I mean, it's
Um,
fair, but also I'm like, I think I would take. I mean, your life looks way better than an unhappy marriage, but that's just me. I'm just like,
it's true. It is true. It is
I,
true.
I think Kirsten's living a better life than y'all, so.
I mean, it's all right. It's all right. It's stressful, but it's all right. But everybody's life is stressful at different levels, so I can't really, you know, make that as a proclamation of a
Mhm.
lack of success.
Yeah.
It's complicated, right? Life is fucking complicated. And like that's the thing that I love about Ayazawa's work though, is because like she shows that it's fucking complicated. It's
Yeah, I love.
complicated from the get-go.
That's I love that too. That's why I think some of these simplistic hot takes, I'm gonna call it that,
Yeah,
where they're
they are.
just like,
The hot
why, right, right, we're like, why can't they just this? Or why can't it just be like that? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Are you finally coming out of your Cornthorne and Roses days to find an actual book? Sorry.
jeez. I mean like I feel like well I don't know. I feel like there's just this anticipation or expectation that like characters can't have complexity.
Well, no, because then people would have to think.
Or like manga characters specifically, like the manga, I want to just like leave it on manga that like
Mm.
it has to be more like straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, there are simplistic ones out
Like with a
there.
lot of nuance. There's a lot of nuance,
Hmm.
right? And so like I guess like if you can't place nuance in it being nuance,
Hmm.
then like yeah, you're gonna think that it just needs to be cut and dry.
Hmm.
And like that's kind of boring. The reason that we're still talking about Nana now, even though it's been on hiatus, even though like, think about all of the manga from the early 2000s that we don't talk about
Mm. Yes.
and that people don't talk about.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. There's so much. There's so much because it went through a boom and they were just experimenting and throwing shit out there. Oh, an American audience here. I'm just gonna pelt this over the ocean. Um,
Whee!
but like Aizawa's work is still being talked about. It still has a following. It still has a fandom. It has a new generation of fans.
Mm-hmm.
That's an amazing thing. That's such a cool thing,
It's pretty. That actually is really cool.
right? Like that is such a cool thing, and like we love her.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know her,
Mm-mm.
right? And it's not like a because I feel like it's also before I don't know. I guess there were still parasocial loves because of the movies like The Bodyguard, but like um
That's the example.
very specific.
Oh man.
But like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like I'm fine if she never finishes Nana. Um as long as she's okay,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like and I don't need to know what her health issues are.
Right.
It's none of my fucking business. Even if she doesn't have health issues, even if that's not like true,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even if that's just like a story that the publisher made because she herself had a psychotic break or
Mm-hmm.
she herself was just done.
Yes.
That's okay.
It will
Like
have to be okay.
it,
Yes.
and it's not even necessarily that it has to be okay. It's that I'm okay with it. I'm okay if somebody wants to be like, I'm done. I'm
Mm.
tired. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to take it as a personal blow, a personal hit, or attempt to cancel her. You can't really cancel her at this point for whatever reason. I get really upset when people get mad that she hasn't finished it, or they press that idea.
Yeah, I've seen that. I, I don't get like, yeah, I just get annoyed and I'm like, you know.
Right. I mean, like, yeah, I don't feel a need to argue and just be like, stop being a fucking dick because it's like, no, you're just a shitty person. Um,
Mm-hmm. I roll.
like, right. And like, yeah, I was really bummed. And like, I'm still hopeful that she'll come back and finish it. But like, I don't know. I don't have a vendetta against her because like, I've read most of her work and literally every single piece that she has created has become a part of my life. And that's more than like any author that I've ever read, any storyteller that I've ever read.
Yeah.
And so like she's gifted us so much
Mm-hmm.
that I think my annoyance when people are like, "Ugh, she needs to just come back and finish." It's like, do you not understand like even you having that sensational feeling of needing it to be done,
Mm-hmm.
like that is amazing
Yeah.
that you desire it that much. How
Right.
fucking cool that is. That an incomplete story pisses you off. Do you not understand how cool that is?
Right.
Like, come on. It's good.
Uh,
It's good.
think
Like,
about it.
think about it. Just think about it a little differently. Make the
Mm-hmm.
consideration that she's a whole ass human.
Yeah.
And also stop being nosy and try to figure out what's wrong with her.
Yeah, that too.
It
Actually,
could
that
also be addiction. There's a whole list of things that it could be, and it could be nothing.
it could be, yeah, it could be something, could be nothing. That was interesting though, like when I don't remember the context, but I know when Nash was over here, we were talking about stories, and I actually pointed to Nana because it was sitting here on my coffee table, and I said, "That
Mhm.
story right there on the table." I said, "That story's not even finished yet." And he was like, "No," and I'm like, "No, the author has been on hiatus for years, and it's still one of the most integral parts of my existence."
Yeah, it's been decades.
Hmm. And
Well, I
he
mean,
was
not
like,
2 decades, but it's over a decade now.
"Yeah," I'm like, "Yeah," I
Yeah.
was like, "It's been a hot minute, dude," and I'm still very dedicated to that story. And he was, I guess mine was kind of blown. I think he was just kind of like, that's some severe dedication. I'm like, "Oh, you don't even know. Like, you
Yeah,
have
you
no
don't even
idea."
know.
You don't even know.
Yeah, I've been reading this story for almost 2 decades now.
Hmm.
Like, still reading,
Yeah.
still watching for almost 2 decades. It
Yeah.
never gets old.
No, I'll just
Like, 'cause it
pick
just,
up.
I don't know, there's something to
Mhm.
it. There's
Yeah.
complexity, there's depth, there's nuance.
Yeah.
There's all of the
Sometimes
things
pick
that
up a
make a good,
volume.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Um, there's love, there's heartbreak, there's realism,
Hmm.
there's social intricacies. And like I don't even particularly like care about like what the actual like storyline setting is, to be frank.
Mm.
I love the fact that it's two girls named Nana and it's a faded expression. Like I love that part of it. I could care less if one of them wants to be famous and one of them doesn't. Like that part of it, I get it. It's a great story, right? But I care
Yeah.
about their interactions. I care about how those relationships are developed. I care about how there's humanity to them.
Hmm.
I care about how there are mistakes being made. I care about how there's transparency to those things,
Hmm.
not just mistakes, but there's transparency within issues.
Yeah.
You know, like who else has done that?
I would just love to study Yazawa's brain to figure out how she does it.
Well, I mean, allegedly, like Nana is based on real life.
I have heard that.
It was in an
I
interview.
Yeah, I've heard um that a couple times, so I'm just like I find that very interesting. It's like, oh, you that's still really cool though, because if it is based on real life, it's like the ability to remember
Mm-hmm.
all of like the ups and the downs and the oh oop fuck miscommunication, and that's how we got here and this was happening over there, and then that's how, like that's
Yeah.
I'm like, that's pretty insane
Yeah.
to have that ability to do that because I'm over here just like C
Well,
spot
and like
run.
we could even like okay, so let's say if we want to muse on it, what if she's Nana? Both of them.
Oh yeah, you said that once before. You were like, I
Yeah.
think she's actually like both people.
What if she's both Nanas?
She could be.
And like maybe one is a dream to her and one is reality to her.
Which one's the dream?
Right, exactly. But like
Ooh,
neither are what happened in her life. But maybe both are dreams. Maybe both are two split realities that she wanted to live
maybe.
and that she didn't have. Because we know that like Gokenjo and then Parakiss, because that's a spinoff, but Gokenjo specifically, that is based on her time at art school, at fashion design
Hmm.
school, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so like, and then there's also like her other stories. Like her first story she wrote when she was 13,
Hmm.
right? And so even at that young age, where's she gonna get inspiration? Probably her real life, or more probable, a fantasy of her real life, how she wanted things to be.
Maybe.
And so what if Nana is two destinies that she wished she had had?
That's still
Two
crazy
dreams,
though. That's like still really
right?
great. Like not like in a, psychopath way, but like in a just the ability
Storytelling
to
way. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and like and now I am weaving it. It's like that's
Hmm.
crazy, woman. How do you
Yeah. But
how do you do that?
I really like the idea that both Nanas are her and that both of them are dream lives that she wished she could have.
Mm-hmm.
Total opposite lives, but both, something.
Yeah, were I not a mangaka, maybe rock band or maybe just housewife.
Right. I mean, like, because they're so opposite, but they're both things we already talked about this. They're both life paths that as a young girl you would dream up,
True.
right?
Oh, but then that's so sad because if one of them is like missing, it's like, where's the other part of myself?
But you
That
don't have
one.
either of them because they're a split personality,
True.
right? So
Yeah.
like, but both being like a dream of a life path,
Hmm.
right? This is the traditional life path and this is the non-traditional life path. And both are
Fantastical
something
woman.
that girls wish for.
Mm-hmm. It's all the Demon Lord, man.
No, the Demon Lord. There's a rift. There's a rift. There's this rift in the time-space continuum.
Yep.
We figured it out. We solved the Oswaverse.
We did. We're just like, see the problems are these little micro tears.
The problem is that they went looking for George in a different storyline.
They did, and that was a big problem. It's like the MRI of the Ozawaverse is like,
Right.
this is your shoulder, and this is bad because you tore it over here in two
Right?
places.
Yeah, seriously. No, for real. So ridiculous.